Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Fershaw, looking at the biggest headlines on Tuesday and two big signings in MLS. One that came down on Monday for the New York Red Bulls and then one that's expected for Sporting Kansas City on Tuesday. These Eastern Conference foes doing some battle here. The Red Bulls signing Juninho, Pernambucano, a guy who's a Brazilian international, a guy who's played in the World Cup. And then Sporting Kansas City expected, Greg, to announce they're signing Argentine striker Claudio Bieler. Which one do you like better?
Well, first of all, I like the fact that you got Juninho's last name correct.
Worked hard.
And you actually did it right. Look, if you look at what Sporting Kansas City did in the playoffs, they struggled a little bit to get some goals. And, Jimmy Conrad yesterday on Extra Time Radio podcast talking about that. I think they were hurt by Teal Bunbury's injury, particularly down the stretch for Sporting. So Bieler comes in, and is he going to be that guy that can score a bunch of goals for them? I think on the other side for New York, the question is Juninho that guy who can play creator? Yeah. They've needed someone in the midfield who's a creator. They brought in Tim Cahill. He's really not that guy. They've looked at Thierry Henry as almost a creator. Think of all the assists that he had, certainly into Kenny Cooper. But you're probably going to push Henry a little further up and allow Juninho to sit in a little bit. I think they're both interesting moves. The questions, of course, around Juninho are his age, 37 years old. How much does he still have in the tank? Can he bring what they need? You imagine whoever they bring in as coach in New York will, think about that kind of stuff. In Sporting Kansas City, how quickly can Bieler fit into this team? It's a team that has a lot of chemistry. They know what to do. Look, they won the Eastern Conference, basically. So this is a team that has a lot of chemistry. Can he fit in very quickly?
Some big offseason moves for Kansas City. If you add Bieler to Benny Feilhaber, Aiko Parra, some of these other moves they've made. Let us know what you think about these two teams. Sporting Kansas City and New York, who's made the better moves?
Right. Well, I think the other question that comes out of this is what happens now with Teal Bunbury? Yeah. Is he expendable? Don't forget, his ex-college coach, Caleb Porter, is now up in Portland. Is there maybe something that happens there where he starts to, is Teal Bunbury expendable for Sporting Kansas City? I would certainly hope not, because I think he's a great player, and Kansas City is a perfect place for him, but you never know.
Suffered a torn ACL last year. Let us know what you think about Sporting Kansas City and New York's off-season moves in the comments below. Well, MLSsoccer.com's Best of 2012 keeps rolling on. This is our second day of the series, and today we're looking at the three stories, Greg, that did not make our top 12 stories of the year. So the top 12 begins Wednesday. Three that did not make it. Got a lot of votes, but didn't quite make the top 12. Two players suspended for using homophobic slurs, Sporting Kansas City's U.S. Open Cup win, and New York City expansion in 2016. Which one deserved to be in the top 12?
Well, for me, I think that the suspensions to Colin Clark and Marc Burch for homophobic slurs was a massive story in 2012. I think that the league taking a stance that has not really been taken by any league yet. I mean, MLS came out very hard. The commissioner, Don Garber, with 3-game suspensions to both players for their comments. And the one for Marc Burch, no one actually heard it. It was sort of lip reading on television. So this was a very strong stance from the league and the commissioner, Don Garber.
3-game suspensions for both. Marc Burch missed some of that postseason, obviously, for the Seattle Sounders. We'll also be revealing our quotes of the year. This is one of my favorites, where you're going to get some of the best quotes from the year all year long from guys like Bruce Arena, John Spencer, Mike McGee. There's a great one from Hercules Gomez in there as well about playing down in Jamaica. I have to say, for me, Bruce Arena is still the best quote in the league. He's on here 3 or 4 times. In a year when you lose Peter Novak and you lose John Spencer, so you can't rely on those guys anymore, Bruce Arena is the reigning champion. You can catch all the best quotes of the year on the site today as well. You mentioned it, Extra Time Radio. The podcast came out on Monday. Catch it on iTunes, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher Radio. Had Jimmy Conrad on there talking about a whole slew of different things, including getting pulled over by the cops in England with Stuart Holden. Check it out.
As one does.
Yeah, as one tends to do. Check it out. Extra Time Radio is out on the site right now. That does it for us. We'll see you again on The Daily tomorrow.